Hey, what's up guys? It's Eric here with Rasāyana Living. It's been, I don't know, a few weeks, I think. Maybe only like a week or two since I've uploaded a video, and I want to come on here and upload another one. And I thought a great video to make would be what I've learned being a raw foodist. So I made quite a few videos on detoxification, so if you've been following me for a while now, you know that. But I don't talk as much about my personal experience being raw. Every now and then I'll say something, but I want you guys to kind of get a general overview of what my personal experience has been. Before I begin, I definitely want to recommend going to my website, ascensionliving.co. I left that in the description for you guys. Go to the blog section and you'll actually be able to see some of the things I've written about my own personal experience. My Juice Fast blog post is up there. I talk about the power of grapes, I talk about heavy metals, I talk about spiritual aspects of detoxification as well. So I get a little bit personal in those, and also my interview with the Beats. I've mentioned this before, but I get really in depth with my own personal story on that interview. So I do want to encourage you that if you do want to find out a little bit more about my own personal story, my struggles and things that I dealt with that I've overcome, be sure to check those out. I'll leave some of those links for you in the description as well. So February 28th will make 2 years that I've been fully raw vegan. So right now is January 12th, so we're a little bit more than a month away from my 2-year anniversary being raw vegan. I never in a million years would have thought, as growing up as a kid with the way that I used to eat and all the junk food and, being from New York City, it's just part of the lifestyle growing up here. It's like school lunches are bad. The healthiest foods that I would eat would come from home. And so I remember I have memories of my mom making me carrot juice, which isn't even optimal, but carrot juice and sometimes green juices and green smoothies every now and then. My grandmother is a vegetarian, so my food at home wasn't terrible. But, when I was out, and about, and I was with friends, I was eating whatever the heck I wanted to eat. And I really didn't make the correlation that that had anything to do with health issues. I look back to, myself as a kid. I didn't get sick that often, but as I started to get older, 11, 12, 13, I did have health issues. Mental health issues, I had physical symptoms, and it all has to do with diet. And now as a trained detoxification specialist myself, I can make those correlations, and I know that. But as a kid, you don't know that. You learn what your parents teach you, and your parents learned what their parents taught them. And humans have really lost touch with nature and with the importance of living food. Like I always say, we are living bodies, we need living food, at least predominantly. Again, my opinion, I'm not here to put anybody down for what they do. It's just, this is what has worked for me, and this is what has changed my life. So I think one of the biggest changes that I've seen in myself, it's not only the physical changes, we'll get into that, but in these last 2 years, spiritually, I've evolved so much, and when I say spiritually, I'm talking about how I feel about myself, how I feel about the world, and also just my anxiety levels. Since I was around 11, 12, I had a lot of anxiety. There were periods of depression, low self-esteem, and things of that sort. And a lot of the foods that I was eating before, such as meat, dairy, those things stimulate various organs. They overwork your organs. So if you were turning on your car every single day and riding 100 miles, eventually that would give out, right? So it's the same thing when you think about pancreatic enzymes. When you eat cooked foods that are, deficient in enzymes or basically absent of enzymes, your pancreas has to overwork trying to excrete enzymes from your body to break the foods down, right? Pancreas is linked with depression. So you start to see how everything is you connect the dots and everything starts to make sense, and it's oh wow. So I would say now that I'm eating foods, especially fruit is even more so than vegetables, amazing at rebuilding the nervous system. So now that I'm eating an abundance of fruit, and my nervous system can finally calm down, my endocrine system can start to balance, all of a sudden I feel a lot calmer. I still deal with anxiety. I'm still a young guy. I still deal with my, low points emotionally. That'll never go. I shouldn't say that'll never go away, but that, that's a normal part of human life. We need to have the capability to feel stress and to feel pain. There's 4 aspects to me, to the human, in my opinion. There's the emotional aspect. There's the physical aspect. There is the intellectual aspect, the part of you that's always planning everything. And then there's the spiritual aspect. There's the part that's the part of you, I guess that's the God within, you can say. That's how I see it. It's the part of you that knows better. Oftentimes, when you're comforting a friend, it's your spiritual self talking. That's how I see it. You can call it the wise self. You can call it the self that knows best. I call it my spiritual self. So, you might tell a friend, you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You are a beautiful person. You don't give yourself enough credit. That is the spiritual self talking. And so there's that aspect as well. I'm trying to allow that part of my quadrinity, the spiritual self, to lead. So if you look at the greats, whether it's Buddha, Jesus, whatever you believe in, these are people that were living from their spiritual aspects most of the time, from their spiritual self. So I would say spiritual wealth is one of the top things that I've gained. I have way more confidence now. I think just literally thinking about the fact that I'm bringing in, living chemistry on a daily basis. I've, naturally with this lifestyle, when you start eating well, you want to start working out, right? So I start working out, I start taking care of my body. I love doing cardio. I love riding bikes now. That boosts your confidence by default. So you don't even realize all the benefits that come into play, that come into your life when you switch over to this lifestyle. I know how to make foods now. I just finished it, otherwise I would have showed you, but I made like raw vegan sushi rolls. I've posted myself doing that on Instagram. Make, pasta sauces out of fruits and vegetables, and I learned how to use seasonings and spices. So now there's all these things that I can say that I can do that I never knew how to do before. So it gives me a sense of purpose, and with that comes confidence. Next, I would say, another thing that I've gained, of course, is freedom of health, physical freedom. Just the understanding that I am my own doctor, and that my body is self-healing, like all of our bodies are self-healing, and that when you move out of your body's way and you allow it to do what it's designed to do, it does just that. I think that has been amazing. To have my alopecia, all my hair grow back. I just wear a hat out of habit. I'm always wearing hats, but if you go to my Instagram, I have pictures without, my hat on. I have videos, whatever. All my hair is back. I was dealing with alopecia. That took a major hit on my self-esteem. My physical symptoms. Sometimes, I have to remind myself how much pain that I was in, because I feel so free now that it's easy to forget, but I don't want to forget. I want to remember that I did this work, I used to have physical symptoms of tingles and pains from my head to my toe. I used to have heart palpitations at like 23 years old. Very scary, not normal, but increasingly common because of the way people eat today. I used to get shooting pains in my brain, anxiety, depression. What else? There's other stuff that I just, from the top of my head I can't think of, but all those symptoms to be gone, and I did it myself after spending 4 years going to different doctors and countries, literally different continents, to try and heal and find the truth. I finally found it, and now I'm, now that I found the truth, I see why God put me through this journey, or the universe put me through this journey. I use God and the universe interchangeably most of the time, and now I have a business. That's another thing that contributes to the confidence, right? Like, I'm running my own business now. I was able to leave my 9-to-5, escape that matrix, so to speak, and do something that I'm passionate about and help people, and something that is rewarding, and something that makes me feel good about myself, and something where I can sleep at night knowing that I've had a positive impact on, tons of people. It's amazing. So, that's the second thing, is the physical aspect, the more energy, clearer skin, clearer thoughts. I guess that's the best way to put it. Being my normal weight also, like when you switch over to raw foods, unless you're doing like completely high fat, which I did do once upon a time, but just to transition into this lifestyle. But when you start to eat a regular, 80-10-10, or maybe like 50-50, 60-40 type of diet, you naturally become your natural body's weight. So if you want to build, you can. If you want to lose more weight, you can. But just being my natural weight, not having to count calories. Oh my God, it's like stress-free. You don't have to count calories. You're just eating an abundance of these flavorful foods, these seasonings and spices. I always tell people, we don't eat chicken and beef as humans and just eat it like that. We actually make jokes about people who don't season things, right? And what are they seasoning these things with? Plants. You can't get away from the fact that we're designed to eat plants, you know what I'm saying? So raw food is not boring. I post about this all the time on Instagram. If you look at my stories, I'm always eating things that are extremely flavorful. You can go to my Chef E story on Instagram. You can see some of the stuff that I've made. Extremely flavorful. I would say another thing is the impact that I've had on other people. I'm constantly having friends or people on Instagram, you guys, my family, asking me for tips for things and asking for help. They know that I'm trained in detoxification, but also sometimes people don't want a detox. They just want, a healthy recipe that tastes good. So I do plan to put out an ebook eventually of different recipes. It's just not priority right now because I'm working with people and with clients. And so yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm sure while I'm editing this, I'm going to remember other things. it's completely, being raw vegan has completely changed my life, and I can't believe I'm about to hit 2 years. Time flies by. 2020 in general for me it just flew on by. So much happened that year. So much happened in 2019. And it's been such a blessing. Raw foods, finding the truth, I look up when I say this because, I feel like I'm speaking to God. I'm speaking to my higher self. I'm speaking to the universe, and I am very thankful. I feel like, I don't know where the future of this world is going right now with this pandemic and the vaccines and whatnot, and it's scary times, but you know, you got to take things a day at a time, and be thankful. And there's so much for me to be thankful for. There's so much. You know, I literally try, I forget sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, but I try to pray over my food, my raw food, my sushi rolls. You know, I say thank you for the nourishment you're about to provide me with. Thank you for your medicinal properties. You know, thank you for being here. I also send my thanks to everyone who's involved in getting the food to my plate. So the farmers, you know, the farmers markets, the people at the grocery stores, etc., etc., the rain. I send my thank yous and my gratitude to everyone involved into what I'm about to put in my body. I think that's another thing, you know, just being more mindful about what I'm consuming, about what I'm putting into my body. I think about my body as like a food processor. I'm more intentional about what I'm putting in my body. I don't think that I'm just feeding myself. I think that I'm feeding my cells. So anything I'm putting in my body, I'm thinking I'm loving myself, but I'm also loving my cells. I'm loving the bacteria. You know, we're made up of so much bacteria. And so, yeah, I would say that's a pretty good summary of you know, these last 2 years of being raw vegan for me. I will always have raw foods a part of my life, of course, now that I know the truth. It's been so amazing, such a blessing, and trying raw foods from all over the world. And it's brought me to Italy, where I ate raw food completely for a week, and I went to various parts of Italy, tried different restaurants with my friend who drives. I don't drive, I'm from New York City, but I do want to start driving, you know, soon. I need to get on that. We get too comfortable out here taking public transportation. But yeah, so you know, and trying all these different fruits and vegetables and learning new recipes, it's been amazing. So I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you guys for being here. I also want to encourage you, if you haven't checked out my website, what are you waiting for? No. If you haven't checked out my website, feel free to check it. The link is in the description again. Follow me on Instagram. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I can make a video responding to your questions. I have a few questions that I have to get to, but yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. And if you do want to work with me on your health issues, I would be more than happy to provide you with an herbal protocol specific to your ailments. I would be more than happy to provide you with a meal plan specific to where you are in terms of your health, and I would love to get on the phone and talk with you. So feel free to check my services, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, love, and blessings.